What's up guys, Jayztwocents here, and today we're going to take a look at a pre-built system, but not just any pre-built system. This is what happens when you take a very enthusiast company with the modding community and you get a mashup collaboration known as the EKWB Gaming X600 series. Today we're going to look specifically at the X603. Today's video is sponsored by Massdrop and the Sennheiser PC37X professional grade gaming headset. Sennheiser is known for its legendary sound quality, and now you can have the best of both worlds without compromising mic quality, making it the perfect choice for gamers and professionals alike. The detachable 10-foot cable and 3.5mm plugs ensure maximum compatibility while running your own amplifiers without taking up an additional USB slot. To learn more about the Sennheiser PC37Xs from Massdrop, click the link in the description below. But I'm wearing these gloves because this chassis, if you guys watched my Denver MicroCenter kind of a grand opening that we did and I did that build, this is essentially the same thing, but they were just launching it around that time. So the idea here is that this is utilizing a chassis that was designed by Der Bauer in conjunction with Lee & Lee. We'll obviously talk about all of that. But back then, the system was just starting to kind of make it into the retail space, at least at MicroCenter, because that's the only place you could actually get this system is at MicroCenter. But I built one on stage, and obviously when you get it, it is already put together and built. So as you can see, this is all packed up with Instapack. But here it is, the PowerSpec X603. But it utilizes the Lee & Lee Dynamic 011, which was, like I said, a chassis that was designed in collaboration with Der Bauer. World-class overclocker and modder. And so obviously cooling is an important one with this chassis. Now there's three models you can choose from, the X601, 602, and 603. Now we're gonna take a look at some of the different specs and stuff that you can get. We'll go down the list here on the left. What I found was, and the reason why I didn't do it with MicroCenter is because MicroCenter is not available everywhere. I think there's only 25 stores across the country, whereas Newegg does ship across the country. And with MicroCenter, you can't buy things like CPUs and stuff and have them mailed to you. So I kind of wanted to see how the price of this compares to, say, putting in a cart with like Amazon or Newegg. And what we found is, especially for the 601, the pricing was extremely competitive. In fact, they advertised that you can get this system pre-built and sent to you because there's only those three specs. Like you can't customize it or have parts changed. It is what it is. Those are the three, that's it. Is you can get it for not much more than the cost of an AIO. But of course, this is using the Fluid Gaming system in here, which is the aluminum, all aluminum pieces, so no issues with galvanic corrosion. But your CPU is water cooled and your GPU is water cooled. Let's see what else we get here inside of this little pouch. So these are all your extra unused cables because obviously it is a modular power supply. Power cable, antennas, because it is an Asus Z390 Strix E. Rubber block, not sure what that's for. RGB extension cables, extra screws that came with the case. Some plugs and all that stuff, extra SATA cables. So spec-wise, the X603 comes with an Intel 9700K, obviously Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. This is the Strix Z390E gaming motherboard. I like how it says system board. Everyone kind of calls it something different, huh? RTX 2080 PCIe graphics card, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. Now the picture shows G.Skill Trident ZRGB, so we'll see what's in here. 500 gigabyte solid state boot drive. It's actually an NVMe drive, at least from what we found online. I think it was a 750 watt power supply, but we'll see when we actually get in there. It's not showing here on the box what it is. But let's go ahead, take a look at this. And it does look like it's empty, so we will be filling it. So obviously that's how they're shipping it. I was kind of wondering how they ship these, but they ship them empty. So that way they don't get damaged. Sorry, Phil.
Don't say sorry when you're not sorry.
So as you can see, in terms of packing material too, nice closed cell foam, enough to make Linus kind of all over himself. All right, so we gotta get this Instapack out of here. To do that, there's these two screws on the back. If you've never seen a Dynamic 00 or 011, this pulls off like this, and the glass comes straight up like that. So there's the inside and the Instapack. Hope everything's in place. That is a perfectly sized Instapack right there, isn't it? You ready? See if all the tubes are still on there? Oh, would you look at that? So it's got residue, like water droplets in there, because obviously they pre-test these. All right, here it comes, the peel porn, which apparently is a thing. And I won't say anything. We'll just let the mic get the sound for Phil. So this also kind of goes in the same way, like that. So you have to take this off to be able to get to the fill port. But you can see it's got these little grooves right here, and they just fit into these little channels. So you set the little tabs in the bottom, and then you just slide it into place. So that's the way that the dynamic chassis works. Let's just kind of get right into filling it up, I guess. We kind of need to do that. We don't want to run it without water. All right, let's talk about filling it real quick, because the manual shows you here using a fill bottle like this, which has a little tube that you can kind of push down in there. I don't have one of these, believe it or not. I never have. I probably should, because it really helps with systems like this, because we are filling in the distribution block. This distribution block doubles as a reservoir as well. You have two ports on here, one on the top left corner, one on the bottom right corner. So in the way it's sitting on its feet, this would be the drain and this would be the fill. Air has to be able to come out because it's a sealed system. It's not like there's another port over here, which would have been fantastic if they had made just another port right here so that you can crack this open and allow air out. The water can't go in until the air comes out. It's volume displacement. And what you'll notice is that see how it's kind of blurp blurp going in there? See how that just bubbled like that? If you fill this all up, one, if you're not paying attention, you're gonna overfill this. Two, as the air comes out, it causes a bubble and it kind of splashes, so that's kind of sucky. So if you had a bottle like they show in the picture here, and you could put the tube down in there and it's not sealed like this fitting is, then that wouldn't be a problem. But since I don't have that, it's kind of a problem for me. So I'm gonna try here right now, is undoing this fitting, which I think I just dribbled down the front. And I'm gonna try just kind of poking my funnel in there, which is not a euphemism, I swear. So if I do it like this, and then I tilt the system back, or at least put something under the front to get it up higher, then that should give me the desired effect that I'm looking for here. There we go. See, now we can control the fill rate. All right, so here it is all pretty much assembled. So the nice thing is the front manifold right here, which also doubles as the reservoir, is, so this helps it bleed. And as you kind of saw, normally when I fill a system, I'll put the jumper on the power supply, fill it, turn on the power supply switch, let just the pump run, let it kind of fill the system, fill it up, do it a few times. So that way there's no chance of running the CPU block dry, which would be bad for the CPU. Now, if any fluid is touching the block at all, even a little bit, even if there's tons of air, it will help. But we were kind of like, we realized that as soon as I tilted it back and started filling it, that as soon as the water got to about these top tubes right here, or even this bottom one right here, the air started pushing out and we saw the level going down and it was sort of filling up the tubes in the radiator. So I kind of went, wow, maybe we don't need to actually fill this and use a jumper, because there's no jumper included in this box, which we thought was kind of strange because it's included with the kit, the 240 kit and the 360 kit and all that, but it wasn't included with this. So basically, as long as you make sure that it's tilted back and you're filling this and you get as much of the air out as possible, which will happen naturally. Air wants to be free, it doesn't want to be under pressure. So as the water's filling, air is being pushed out. And even though it's only happening through one port, as long as you don't seal it off with a tube and you use like a funnel or a squeeze bottle or something that fits down inside there and air can get out, then it's a heck of a lot easier. Now the front manifold, like I said, not only serves as a nice aesthetic piece, it's obviously very functional. So all the bits connect to the manifold. So the radiator, both tubes, to the manifold, block, to the manifold, GPU to the manifold. The only fans that are in this system though, so I'm really kind of curious as to how well this is gonna perform, are the exhaust fans on the top, which are obviously 3 EK Vardar RGB fans. So the bottom is filtered. It's a magnetic filter down here as well. Kind of sliding it around. Where is it? There it is. So this sits down here magnetically. So you are filtering the air coming in. So that's enough talking about it. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Let's get some benchmarks running, do some temperatures, and let's see what it's all about. Because that was one thing I didn't get to see in Denver, was I built it, off it went, and I didn't get to actually play with it. So today, we get to do that. So I've had superposition running the 1080p Extreme, which in case you're wondering is more stressful than 4K optimized. We're sitting at about 48C right now, and it's been running long enough to saturate the loop. This is exactly as it was set out of the box. I haven't touched any overclocks, I haven't touched any fan curves, and the fan is fairly non-aggressive in terms of the fan curve. If I get right next to it, you still can't hear it, huh? Like the noise floor and stuff. Yeah, that's how quiet this is. But this would definitely be one of those situations where it is certainly acoustic optimized, but as you can see, it's still doing a fantastic job with keeping it nice and cool. while being quiet. You can see we just hit 49, but also too, the air conditioner in here turned off. So that's gonna go up and down a couple of degrees based on the ambient temperature here. So if we go ahead and exit this test, we can take a look at our chart right here. 49 is where it sort of capped out. You can see our CPU temperature obviously was not under any real load. It was in the 40s. And because this loop is nice and hot right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and jump immediately into Prime 95 small. So this is not a realistic situation in terms of how much heat your computer is gonna be generating, but what it will tell us is kind of what the maximum capacity of this system is gonna be like. Core temps immediately shot to 81, 82, 70s, 80, 70s, 80, 79. The fans have definitely kicked up versus before. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna let this run for about 10 minutes, see where the temperatures sort of equalize, and I think we'll see those temperatures come down as a whole. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it didn't really change a whole lot, actually. The loop here, or the particular core that got to 83, came down and has been bouncing between 80 and 81 now. So a couple of degrees. We're running at 4.6 gigahertz, which is the all-core turbo boost clock for the 9600 or 9700K. So everything's running pretty good here. Cores are all under load. We were kind of wondering if maybe one of these cores might have been throttling because the way it every now and then drops down, like you see right there, and none of the other cores did that. So with a TJ Max of 105, we are way under that, even when we're doing a very unrealistic test that would never come anywhere close to what the actual main day-to-day usage is gonna be like. So we're gonna run this one more time now with just blend, which is kind of all of the above, which would be a little bit more realistic test. So it's sitting in the 50s and 60s, which is much more realistic. Obviously, as you can see, it has no problems whatsoever with temperatures, as I wouldn't have expected it to, with a 9700K and a single GPU with a 360 rad. I never did a review of the Dynamic 011 from Lee & Lee, obviously the Der Bauer edition. I think they're all Der Bauer, honestly. I think he helped design the case. But EK Waterblocks obviously has handled all of the cooling for this chassis and all the assembly and stuff with their Fluid Gaming series. Like I said, there's 3 models of this, the X601, 602, and 603. This is clearly the 603, the top of the line. This is kind of the best you can get right now, at least with the current hardware and the current year that we're in. I kind of think that the best value, though, if you want to know the truth, is going to be the X601. Because if you take a look at that, the only thing that's different, it's the same storage, it's the same amount of RAM, it's the same kind of RAM, the G-Skill and all that. It has the same 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD, but you sacrifice the 9700K for a 9600K, and you sacrifice the 2080, which is non-TI, for a 1070 Ti. And the price, and I'll put the links down below for you guys to go and check out, because the prices are always changing and stuff, but at least at the time of making this video, if you live near a MicroCenter or you want one shipped to you or whatever, you can get the 601 for $1,399. And I can tell you right now, when I put all those parts in the cart at Amazon and Newegg, I couldn't even match the price of this with an AIO. So that particular model is extremely a very good value, a very compelling value. So it's definitely worth checking out. But obviously, because that's running a Pascal card, a 1070 Ti, that model will eventually be changing to what, I don't know. So if you can get one and you're looking for a water-cooled build that will look exactly like this for $1,399, that's a hell of a deal. But once again, a huge thank you to EK for sending this over, and obviously MicroCenter as well for helping us and allowing us to do this review. So if you guys want a system that is worthy of looking like it belongs in any sort of PCMR showcase with all the RGB goodness, which of course you can use Aura to completely change the scheme if you want and make it stop being rainbow puke, you can do that. And it's gonna look exactly like this. And you can even tell your friends and your family, like, I built this. I built this. They won't know any different. You say, I built it. Who cares if you built it or not? Just tell people you did. All right, guys, once again, links are down below if you guys want to learn more about this. Huge thank you to EK and MicroCenter for sponsoring today's video. And as always, we will see you guys in the next one. No salty crybabies. Anti-gravity. Yeah, this one comes with the Tesseract. Fluid, gate, triangle. When your doctor walks in the exam room and goes, all right, let's get things started. I had a doctor once tell me, relax, I don't want you to cut my finger off. With their, fluid gaming, that's it, right? Blah, 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 blah.